What's up? This is Wylie the werewolf, and tonight what we'll be talking about is adding whole numbers and decimals. So that's all we're going to be talking about. Do you know how to add? Do you know how to add whole numbers? Do you know how to add decimals? Let's do some practicing. So the first thing you need to do when you add decimals or even whole numbers, and we'll start with whole numbers, is you gotta find the decimals. So let's look at this number here. 338 plus 14. Okay. Some of us might be able to even do it in our head, but the first thing I want you to do with any math problem that you're adding or even subtracting is I want you to find that decimal. Now, sometimes you won't see it right away. And if you don't see it right away, here's a little hint. It's at the end. Did you hear my hint? All right. So there's no decimal here. There's no decimal there. It must be at the end. It's hidden. Now you found it. No decimal here. No decimal here. No decimal there. Because I don't see it. If you don't see it, it's not there. Then at the very end. Okay, sorry. All right, so now we located our decimals. Then what you're going to do with your numbers is you're going to line up those decimals. It's very important. You got to line them up. So we have 14. We have 338. And we're adding. So make sure you use the right symbol here. If we're subtracting, you'll have a different answer. So first thing you do is find your decimals, line up your decimals, and then let's add. You got 8 plus 4 is 12. You're going to carry your 1. You got 1 plus 3 plus 1 would give you 5. And then nothing was carried over here, so you just bring down your 3. And then once again, I want you to locate that decimal. And what you do right here is you just bring down the decimal. Just bring down the decimal. So your answer here is 352. Let's try another one. Okay, and once again, this might be one that you could do in your head, and that's great. Do it in your head. Now let's do it on paper. So the first thing I want you to do is locate your decimals. Do you see any decimals? No. So then it must be at the end. So let's put a decimal here. Let's put a decimal here. And we're not just placing it anywhere. It is there. It's just you can't see it. It's invisible. Whenever you ask for 10 cookies, you don't ask for, can I have 10-point cookies? You just say 10 cookies. But I know it's 10 whole cookies. Cookies. Just thinking about them makes me hungry. All right, so let's get back to work. So the first thing you do is locate your decimals. Then you're going to line them up. Remember, we're adding again. So once you line up your decimals, then all the other numbers are going to line up. Do you see how neat this is? If you make it too sloppy, your numbers are going to go all off. 0, 5, 2, 1. And you could even put a comma there. 1,250 or 1,250. And once again, bring that decimal down. Decimal is really important. You got to remember what to do with that. Now let me show you a decimal number, maybe even a whole number in a decimal. You have 1.3 plus 14.92. All right, so let's look at this number. First thing I want you to do is I want you to find your decimals. Have you located those? They're a little easier now because you could see them. But there is your decimal, and there's your decimal. And the second thing we're going to do is line up those decimals. And there's that decimal. Okay, what I would recommend you do right here, we've done it before when we practice place value, and you'll do it again when you're subtracting whole numbers and decimals. So let's just get practice in here, as you want to have the same number of digits behind the decimal. You see how there's 2 digits here? So let's make 2 digits here. And so we're just going to add a 0. It doesn't change in it. 1.3 is the same as 1.30. The same as 1.30. But we don't put that. So you have 2 digits here, so let's put 2 digits up above too. It won't really affect our adding, but when we get to subtracting, if we remember this, it will be very helpful. So let's go ahead and add this going straight down. We're still adding. 0 plus 2 is 2. 9 plus 3 is 9. 12. And so what you're going to do is still bring down that decimal. I kind of skipped a step from before, but you're going to carry the 1. So you got 9, 10, 11, 12. Carry the 1. So you got 1, 1, 4 would give you 6. And there's nothing carried there, so your answer is 1622. My decimal is still lined up. So 1.3 plus 14.92 gives you 16.22. Give you one more practice one. The moon's getting ready to change. Got to get out of here. You know how it is. All right, so let's try this. 0.01 plus 0.269. All right, so the first thing I want you to do is locate your decimals. Once again, you see them right away. That's great. And let's line up those decimals. 0.1269. Remember what I said about that? What should we have up above there? Yes, a 0. Let's go ahead and put a 0 right there. So we have 3 place values. We have 3 place values to the right. Now we're ready to roll. We're still adding here. 0 plus 9 is 9. 6, 1, 7, 2, 0. Oh, 0, 2, 2. And then bring down your decimal again. Now, there's no numbers over here, and you could technically put some zeros over here, but there's no real reason to do that. So your answer is 0.279. All right, so this has been adding whole numbers and decimals. And remember, locate the decimals, line up the decimals, and then I would recommend that you add a 0 here because when subtracting comes, it'll be a lot easier. All right, well, we'll talk to you real soon. Got to head out.